I'm bringing up a topic which is a concern for many of us, many of the parents who either already have a child on the spectrum and am planning for another child in the family, or we are, trying to, already have a child who is a neurotypical and we have another child who is on the spectrum. Now, there comes a big challenge for the parents when they have to take care of both the children from different worlds, right? Our child on the spectrum feels the environment differently, understands different cues, understands with great difficulty because they might be still struggling with language, right? While the other child might be completely neurotypical, understanding things around him or her. Then comes the challenge how to balance the life when you have to take care of the child on the spectrum as well as a child who is neurotypical. So it's like we have both the worlds together under the same roof, isn't it? And you and me all know that when a child when we get the diagnosis of autism, and it is not only the child who gets affected, the whole family taking care of this child, gets affected, right? So it's not that a sibling to the child on the spectrum will not be affected. Of course, they also see our struggles. They see the struggles of their sibling, right? So everybody in the family gets impacted, and we as parents put in our heart, time, soul, energy to the child. We give all our attention to the child on the spectrum, but we must remember that the brothers and sisters of our child on the spectrum are equally, they are also walking the similar path. They are also need that love, attention, and support, right? So, and it is very justifiable for a sibling to feel various things in their mind, isn't it? The child who is not on the spectrum might feel sometimes jealous, sometimes left out. They might even feel guilty for having these kind of feelings, right? And they are also growing up. Their minds are also not fully developed. They might be either adolescent, they might be either, 10, 11 or 7, 8 years of age, where you do not expect them to fully understand the condition of the family, right? So it's okay for them to feel jealous. It is okay for them to fight for the attention for the parents, right? Even if both the children who are neurotypical have this kind of issue, isn't it? Me and my brother used to have these issues. We're both trying to gain the attention of our parents. We are fighting for their time and their attention. And so it is so very normal for a child who's not on the spectrum to feel these feelings, right? It comes very apparent when a child who's not on the spectrum is feeling like this, right? It becomes very apparent. But for the child who is on the spectrum might also be having these feelings, but they cannot express it, right? And they looked completely tuned off, or they are completely in their own space, isn't it? Then, so it is very important that we need to bring that kind of a balance for both the children, right? Sometimes we are supposed to feel very proud and very, proud of the child who is not on the spectrum. So they also at their level worry about, the future. If they are growing up and they feel that, yes, my future, how it is going to look at, am I supposed to take care of the child, my sibling who's on the spectrum? So it's very, very important that we as parents play a very important role. Rather, we have to play a dual role while we are trying to overcome the challenges which autism as a journey is throwing at us. But the other child is also growing up and also facing many challenges. So, what exactly the parent can look at? I suppose, giving a one-on-one time, giving a full attention, a quality time to the child who is not on the spectrum, a neurotypical sibling, is so very important. The way we want to spend time with our child on the spectrum, yes, we are trying to take out all the time, but it's always nice to spend a full quality time with the sibling also, right? And you can sit with them, do a storytelling, reading, playing, chatting, coming into their world, understanding, because what I have experienced, as per my experience, I do not have, I have just one child and he's on the spectrum. I did not go for another child because I knew I would not be able to give a good quality time to my second child if I go for. And hence, I did not plan for the second baby, though I really wanted to have another child. But the situation, the severity of autism with my son was to an extent where we were not sleeping through the nights. And hence, we did not go for another child, right? So, coming back to the practical strategies, I have seen that many children, many of my friends, many of the people whom I know who have, kids from both the worlds, right? The neurotypical one gets bullied, okay? And sometimes other children come and bully them of their siblings. So I've seen few of my friends making this kind of arrangement where both the children are not sent to the same school, so that the bullying is, finished when it comes to the schooling, right? And even if, like the child on the spectrum was ready to be integrated, mainstream integrated, still they kept the school separate so that there is no bullying for the child who is neurotypical, who's a regular child, right? So that it can be one of the strategy. The other thing is that, yes, we have to reduce the bullying. For that, our communication with, with the child who is not on the spectrum should be so good that they are able to come back and tell us about all the bullying that is happening. Because this is what I have seen happening with few of the children, who live in my society only. And I've seen that the younger sibling or the elder sibling is getting bullied for that reason, right? So it's very important to make the regular child understand the situation that we are in, and also make them, ready for this kind of bullying and how to answer in a very smart way without feeling any loss of self-worth, right? That's very important. So this situation becomes pretty tricky, and it's so nice to sit with them, to have a word, prepare them how the society is looking. And when the society throws their, whatever at our child, the child should be strong enough to counter attack it. Not only advocate and make people around them understand about the situation of their sibling, also protect and preserve their self-worth, right? That's very important, because that's something that really can bring down their self-worth. Also, when the child comes and tells you and that, falane dhimkane ne mujhe aisa bola, because one of my friend's daughter was bullied by saying that why don't you put your brother in a mental hospital, right? So this kind of bullying really happens, and it's so very nice that if we speak to our child, then only the children will be able to come back and tell us that, this is what is happening with me, right? So we need to be friends with our regular children as well. And and tell them that it's completely okay to feel saddened or, upset sometimes, but we need to make them very strong-willed and advocate for our own children, isn't it? Very important, Hannah. That's what I feel. And that's how my friend also, handled this whole situation. That, she even spoke to the child who was bullying her, made him understand about autism, made him understand about the situation, and, bring both the children, both a regular child and my child on the spectrum together, make them speak to each other, feel empathetic, right? And also not only feeling empathetic, but ready to accept such children in the society, isn't it? And so this was why I wanted to come and talk, that sometimes when we get so involved with our child on the spectrum, we lose that contact with our regular child, and they might be going through a lot of emotional disturbances, which start affecting even their grades, even their concentration in the school, right? And their very important self-worth. So it's, even if you take out 10 to 15 minutes in a day and are able to, spend a quality time with no reference to any of the disability which we all are facing, and just giving them time, giving them an ear to listen to, what's going on in their beautiful world, right? So, and it's very, very important to make them fine. Yes, they should be friends with the child on the spectrum rather than a burden. They are not the caretakers. So let us not convert our regular child, another regular child, or as a caregiver, right? He or she is not a caregiver. He or she is also a child, also requires the similar nurturing to become a, responsible, or a responsible adult, right? And they also need to let the kids be kids. That's what I'm trying to say, that, let them be kids. Don't burden them that tomorrow, and talk to them very freely that, don't ever have this thing in mind that you are tied down to the family. You won't be, getting an opportunity to have to study abroad or out of city because you have to take care of your child. Give them that freedom, that whatever they will be, required to do, they will be doing. And it is we, the parents, who will take care of the child on the spectrum, right? We are not bringing another child into this world to take care of us and the child, and the child on the spectrum. And that was the reason why I did not go for another child. I was not ready when it comes to the severity of autism, which Ranak was facing maybe. And because there were sleep issues and we were not sleeping together. And so it was better that, my energy levels used to be so down during the day that bringing another child is like, you have to, a child can grow, you can raise a child only when you fill the energy of love, the energy of time with your child. And if you do not, both the things are missing, then do not bring another, living being into this world without being prepared in your mind that, don't keep this thing in mind that I want to bring the child because I want another world also there. I want, what happens if I will die? Who will take care of my child? Right? We don't bring children into life to take care of us or to take care of their siblings, do we? No, that's not the point. It's the point is to make a family. The point is to live together and to enjoy each and every human in the family, right? It's not about taking care of each other. Yes, as a family, as a unit, we are going to take care of each other, but we don't pull them down or we do not burden them with our child on the spectrum. So it's very, very important, right? Another thing that I really wanted to discuss today was that, if my firstborn is on the spectrum, should I plan another child? Should I bring in another child? Now, that's a very, very personal opinion. But since I have walked this journey for practically 16 years now, and it was a conscious decision not to go for another child. There were many factors that I want to share what I considered and what you should also look at when you are planning another baby. So it's always nice to have, at least you want to complete your family. It's nice to have children. But there are certain factors you should consider. First, you have to consider the readiness as a parent, right? It's like a unit decision, right? You have to consider every aspect as a family to bring in another beautiful life into this world, right? So it's not about only the mother wanting or only the father wanting. It's about both of them sitting together and deciding as a parent whether, because bringing a new baby into the family would require a lot of time, energy, and it would also be a financial constraint. So all these factors have to be decided between, the family, the husband and the wife, and also to consider is the family support, right? While the father is a bread earner and the mother is so busy with the child on the spectrum, taking him around with the therapies or the special schools, and also giving time to the child on the spectrum. Now, still, if there is a family support, then it's wonderful. Go ahead. But when you are considering another child, then you need to consider even the birth of the new baby, what impact it will have on my child on the spectrum, right? Will your child on the spectrum benefit from having a sibling? Of course, there's no question asked. Of course, they are going to benefit, because that brings in the social skills, the sharing, the companionship. But sometimes it may also cause stress if the child is struggling with the change or sharing attention, right? The mama is giving, and the child is not understanding that why mama is giving so much importance to the new baby, right? Because one of the parent had joined me and she said that my child has become super aggressive after I had my daughter. Though he really loves her. But only thing is that when the mother, how you are able to balance. If you are able to balance, then it's fantastic. It also depends on the age of your firstborn. It also depends on the severity of the autism, and also depends upon how many therapies or how much support is needed for the child who's on the spectrum, and yet you are deciding to have another child. So it's a financial constraint. It's the level of, or the severity of autism which your child is going through at the moment, who's a elder sibling, who's going to be the elder sibling, right? These are the whole things that I decided. Plus another thing to make sure that the next baby, because many a times there are 50% chances that the second child born could be or may also have autism. Yeah. So the chances might be looking dim, but yes, I have met with the parents whose second born also came out to be on the spectrum. So we need to consider all these points before we go for a second baby. Also, if you are planning for a second baby, it's very good to go for genetic testing. If there was any genetic issue, right? If there is a genetic issue, then irrespective, they say, okay, if the first is a boy who's on the spectrum, if we get the second a girl, she might not be on the spectrum. While that looks to be completely a myth. It can happen if there is a genetic issue. And I have seen both boy and girl having some kind of difficulty. It's not only autism, it can be learning disability, it can be ADHD, it can be anything. So it's always better to go for a genetic testing. It's better to go for a genetic testing of your firstborn and then plan a second baby. Or if you've already conceived, then you can have the testing done for the child in the womb, right? So it's a very, very personal decision. But this personal decision is per se for the family and not only for one person to consider. It's not only about the father, asking for another child, or it's not only the mother asking, or it's not only the in-laws or the peer pressure. Because ultimately we are the caregivers, we are the parents, we have to raise both the children, one on the spectrum and one not on the spectrum. And of course, they also, if I get a child who's not on the spectrum, is also going to bring a lot of joy to me, right? Are we as a family unit ready to bring proper nurturing to the child who will not be on the spectrum, right? And if the answer is yes, then yes, go for that, because sibling love is fantastic. Our children on the spectrum can learn lots and lots of things. They get a friend inside the home itself, right? And a lot of things which we are not able to teach, their siblings will take over. While you are using the sibling to teach your child on the spectrum, make sure that you do not convert this child, regular child, into a caregiver, right? It should be a fun. Let them have fun together. Let them enjoy. Don't give any structure, or don't give any goals to be achieved from the sibling, right? Let's not pressurize. They are also children. They also need that much of help and support, right? And I feel that if there is a sometimes we don't even come to know that our child was on the spectrum, and we plan the second baby is ready to come. Then, and so, few of my friends, they had both the children on the spectrum, and it's because they didn't know that the first child was on the spectrum, and hence the second also came. And if there is a little bit of time gap, so that this one is, the child on the spectrum is, or has achieved certain milestones, or, overcome many of the challenges, and, is ready to be integrated, and then we can have another child. So these are the opinions, these are the small reflections before you have, or you go for another baby. Because if your firstborn was a regular child and the second came, then of course this choice very much is not there. But if the firstborn was on the spectrum, then it should be a very conscious decision, depending on the severity, depending on, the time. You need to have time, you need to have resources, because both will require, rather the child on the spectrum would require a lot of resources, right? A lot of our energy. So how much energy is left for the second one? That needs to be considered. Yeah. If you can justify the time for both the children, then of course one should go for a child. Yes, I always had a dream to have another baby, but the situation did not permit me to have this joy of having two children in a family, have a nice, beautiful family of 4. I actually wanted to make that a family, but the situation did not allow me. My son was pretty severe. He had problem in walking. He had his motor skills were very poor. His feeding was poor. His sleep was completely, he had insomnia for 10 years. And after that, even my energy levels were pretty low. It was just a dream. Yeah. And that dream, yes, I could not, it was a very consciously decided that, okay, I'll give up on this dream, because I wanted to give my 100% to Ranak. And by doing that, I have been able to help him in a way that maybe if I would have been divided, it would be a little difficult thing on my behalf. And then, we as mothers go through a lot of guilt, and the sibling who's neurotypical also goes through a guilt. So just consider the feelings, the psychological impact on our child on the spectrum, the psychological impact that it is going to have on us. While it is a joy, but are we ready to deal with that guilt, guilt that we keep having all the time? Are we ready to deal with it? Are we strong enough to deal with it? Go for it. If you are ready for that, if you are a strong person. And that strength also comes by looking at your child on the spectrum, and if that child has overcome most of the challenges, then yes, it is, it's beautiful to have children from both the worlds. It's completely a different experience, I think. And hats off to parents who bring up both the children in a very healthy environment. That's what. So that's my take on this. Yes, you might be having some other opinion, and do share with me what exactly you think about extending your family, or if you have already an extended family where you have children from both the worlds, how you are feeling, what are the difficulties, what are the challenges that you face, and how you overcome it. Because I'm sure you're able to overcome those difficulties, those challenges, because that becomes a very eye-opener for many of the parents who might be considering, right? That helps other parents to decide whether we should go for another baby, whether we should, not go for another baby. There's always, we all are held up in that dilemma. So it is when we are, living in a society together, and if we share our experiences, some parent can benefit any of the parents, isn't it? So with that, I come to an end to my discussion today, a very sensitive topic of, how to, to be understanding and bring up the sibling of, supporting the sibling of the children on the spectrum. So yeah, something which is not very discussed very much openly, right? So I thought, let me bring this to the forum. I hope you enjoyed my session today, and keep connected with me. I try to come as regularly as possible. Maybe I'll be able to see you again on next week. Thank you so much. Take care and love you all. Bye-bye.